jumped in front of a semi-truck. When I say this is the worst date story you've ever heard, I mean it. Oh, dude, it was the lowest point in my life. I have possibly the worst date story you have ever heard in your life. This is one of those stories, and I'm not saying this to be funny. This is one of the things that happens to someone that makes them want to kill themselves. But you know what? I'm stronger than that. And I take pills for that, huh? I can't kill myself because I take pills for it. I've never told this to anybody except for like a few select friends. Maybe it'll make you laugh. Maybe it'll make you feel bad. I don't care. I talk about it to make people laugh because it is so bad and so horrible that it's almost funny. We're going to take a trip back to senior year of high school. So I had recently broken up with my first ever girlfriend. I broke up with her because it had nothing to do with her. Literally nothing to do with her. It was all me. I broke up with her and it sucked. It was oh my gosh. Oh, dude, it was the lowest point in my life. Because, COVID happened at the same time and I gained all this weight and I didn't have a girlfriend anymore and I didn't know where to get my happiness from and I just hit the mic with the towel on accident and all of this stuff was happening. It was just the worst. I was at the lowest and that's when I got therapy and that's when I got my medication. And now we're doing good. But yeah, so I was at a real low. And of course, when we were able to come back to school in person, I had to see her with her new boyfriend. There's nothing wrong with that. Her choice, right? I mean, it's just natural to be, a little uncomfortable with that, seeing her with someone else. And you know what? Hey, I mean, that you do what you need to do. I was in a lot of pain though. And it sucked. Senior year was awesome and horrible at the exact same time. So maybe a couple months pass and I am getting over my ex. And I think to myself, and here's the beautiful thing is that me and my ex we're still talking like friends. That just goes to show you how much bigger of a heart she has. I still like to check up on her now and then, even though she might be short with me. I get it. I do still like to check up on her because I do, at the end of the day, I do care about her, even if she doesn't know it, even if she doesn't want to know it, even if she hates me, I do still care for her. That aside, a couple months pass and I think I'm ready to get back on the horse. Papa hasn't been riding for a while, but he thinks he's ready to get back on the stallion. I say to myself, you know what? Let's go on a date with somebody. Let's ask someone out. I have no experience with asking anybody out. I'm the worst when it comes to all of this. I am so awkward and it's the scariest thing ever. I want to do a little exposure therapy. Boy, howdy. I definitely got that therapy and I needed therapy after this. I kind of had this one girl that I had a crush on. Let's call her Grace. Okay. Let's just, I don't want to name any names. Let's just call her Grace. I've kind of really liked Grace for a little bit. And I've always thought she was pretty funny. She would laugh at my jokes, which is hard to come by. And I told my ex that, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so great! I think you two would be a great fit." And that really encouraged me. I said, you know what? Even she's telling me that. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. So what if this goes horribly wrong? I'm gonna be moved to Florida in 6 months. I don't care. Everyone back here doesn't matter to me unless we had a good relationship, like my best friends and stuff like that. Now, Grace was in the same choir as I was, and one day after a rehearsal, we all decided to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. B-dubs, the staple of the city I grew up in. We all go there, and I really wanted to sit at her table, but my ex and two other girls went ahead and sat with her, so that was awkward. So I sat with all the guys, which kind of sucked. Just a bunch of dudes like, dude, it's some snowboarding, dude. That's freaking creatine. So I'm like, oh crap. Okay, well there goes that. And then halfway through the meal, I think to myself, do it tonight. Tonight is the night. You've been talking to her for a good while. You know she at least likes you, maybe not in a way to date, but she definitely does not appall you, Celestino. Tonight is the night I ask Grace out. That's a scary one because again, I've never done this. I've never asked someone out. I still haven't asked anybody out except for her. Everything else has been on an app because I'm way too scared. But yeah, so I say to myself, this is it. Stop being a wuss. This is the night. Even if it goes up in your face in the worst way, you can say that you did it. I think that's a good message. The important part isn't what they say or how they answer you. The important part is that you actually did it, because that's the hardest part. So the dinner's coming to a close, and it's starting to hit me that, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to do this soon. So we all leave at like the same time. We all start going to our cars, and I come by her car. I come by Grace's car, and I stop her, and I hit her with the question. I said, hey, Grace, you know, I know we've been talking for a long time over text, and I've had a lot of fun getting to know you, and I was wondering if you wanted to go out sometime. I think I did a pretty good job. Pretty neutral, eh? Hey? Ladies, let me know how much I butchered that in the comments, please. And she said the most, she said the one thing that either makes you pull the trigger or sell the gun. She said, let me think about it. Yeah, that's aces. That's the answer you want. That's what every guy wants to hear, is you propose, not even a no. Like, she's like, do I really want to go out with this loser? Like, should I give him a chance? Whatever. She just straight up said, I'm going to think about it. Thanks. Let me know if it's a yes or a no. Oh, man. So I didn't really know. I'm just laughing thinking about it, man. I didn't really know what to say in that moment. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Yep. Well, hey, shoot me a text. Call me. Let me know soon. Very soon. I'm going to be 6 states away soon. So let me know. I get in my car and I'm like, well, I was like, well, okay. That went absolutely nowhere. And I get home. And I do what every man's man does after a successful conquest of a woman. I sit down and I play video games with my friends online. And we're playing Overwatch, and suddenly I get a text from Grace. And the text is, hey, I would love to go out sometime, let me know, blah, blah, blah. Just something generic like that. And of course, I was talking to my buddies. I was like, guys, I did it. Yes. Like, I was like super excited. All of my friends were like, dude, way to go, man. I told you could do it. Like, super positive. I have great friends. So me and her both decide on a place to go. It's this ice cream place, like kind of famous in the city. Because actually, that place was where I had my first kiss. My parents are going to be listening to this, and they're going to learn a lot about me. But yeah, that's where I had my first kiss with my ex, my first kiss ever. And now I've taken Grace there because it's the only spot I know. I was probably 17? Yeah, I think I was 17 at this time. So, oh man, here it comes, guys. When I say this is the worst date story you've ever heard, I mean it. And the fact that I'm still here with a heart beating and a brain firing, breathing in front of you all, that's nothing short of a miracle. I would like you to be proud of me for that one. So I pick her up. I pick up Grace. I pick her up in the car. And we're jamming. I'm the best DJ. Sorry, but I am. I play the best music for the best moods. Just playing some fun music, popular pop and rap and whatever. So I'm driving her and me there, and we get out. We start walking towards them. We order our stuff, and we sit down outside. We're eating ice cream. We're talking, asking each other questions, sharing stories. And all of a sudden, behind me, I hear someone go, doot, 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 doot. I'm like, oh, what is that? I turn around, and there are maybe 3-4 guys around our age, maybe a little younger. And as I turn around, I look at one of them, and one of the strangers says, "Hey, fat ass, what are you doing with that girl there? Did you kidnap her to rape her later?" Just yelled that across the patio. And I'm like, huh? What? Then the other guys chime up and they're like, "Yeah, fatty, what are you doing with that girl? Hey, bitch, blink twice if you need to be rescued, man. Yeah, hey, what's up, fatty? What are you doing? You're gonna eat all that ice cream by yourself? I bet you are. I bet you're gonna ask her for hers too. What's up, fatty? How'd you even fit in that shirt? Oh my gosh, are you seriously on a date with her? Oh my gosh, dude, you must have drugged her, man. You must have drugged her." And I'm not kidding, for probably 10 minutes, these guys kept going on and on and on and on and on, getting more vulgar, more vulgar, more vulgar, and worse and worse and worse and worse. And all the meanwhile, I'm smiling. I'm smiling because I don't want to make even more uncomfortable. Crap, I just said her name.
Grace.
I want to make Grace as comfortable as I can. So I'm smiling through it all. I'm trying to keep Grace as comfortable as I can because obviously she's already uncomfortable. And when I've told this story to people, they say, "Well, you would be the most uncomfortable one." And I said, "Unfortunately, no. And unfortunately, no, I'm not." You want to know why? Because I'm kind of used to this kind of stuff. So I'm kind of it doesn't really work on me anymore. I'm kind of used to it. That's kind of sad to say I'm used to stuff like that, but hey, that is the truth, brother. Sooner or later, I say, I hit the guys back with something. They're saying, "Man, I can't believe she fell for you, man, dude. How much of a catfish are you, man? You must have edited your photos to make yourself look 400 pounds lighter on the Tinder app." All the kind of stuff like that. The only thing I said to them was I turned around and I said, "Look, guys, who's on the date with her at the end of the day, huh? Me? Oh, all right, cool. So, so you can shut up now." Luckily, I did not stutter. That would have been, if I stuttered during that, I probably just would have voluntarily jumped in front of a semi truck. That would have done it for me. That probably would have been the end of this story. But I didn't stutter. I was very coherent, and because my adrenaline was rushing, and I was very scared that if they got any closer, I would get physical. Because although I was smiling, obviously inside of me, I had such a ferocious rage that I've never felt in my life. And if they had even tried to get close to me, I would probably be apologizing to their mothers a week from then, because I'm not an angry guy. I never get angry, but when I do, I don't know. It's just not fun for anybody. And I wanted to avoid that. I took Grace's hand and I started walking back to the car, and I'm smiling still, just kind of, I'm making jokes with her, blah, blah, blah. She's obviously like terrified. She's like mortified. Like she doesn't know what to do. She's like, she hasn't blinked yet. Her eyes are wide open. She is just walking with me. And all while we're walking, the guys are still chirping, like blah blah, like, "Oh, careful, get in that car. You're so fat, the bumper's gonna hit the ground, blah blah. I can't believe all your tires aren't popped yet from how fat you are. Stupid, blah blah blah." And I'm not even making any of this up. Like, this is all like pretty much exactly what they said to me. And we're walking back, we get in the car, and I'm just kind of laughing, because again, it's one of those things you kind of laugh at because of how stupid it is. Like how on earth did that just happen to me? Like, kind of one of those things. And she looks at me and she says, I am so sorry that just happened to you." And I said, no. I said, "No, I'm sorry that you had to be there for that. I'm not, I apologize to her. Because no woman wants to be in that. Nobody, but especially no woman on a date wants to be in that to be in that situation. So I'm like, "No, I'm sorry you had to put up with that. You know what, Grace? Let's just go back to your house and drop you off." She said, "Sounds good." So I drop her off, but before she gets out of the car, smooth sailing Celestino Remington here, I hit her with a line that I thought would work. Didn't, but I thought it'd work. I said, hey, before you leave, I have to ask you something. Do you see this happening again in the future? And should we just go ahead and plan it now? A little bit of smooth peanut butter there. She said, we'll see, solid. Thanks. Confidence through the roof on that one. And she goes inside, and I sit in the car for a little bit, and I'm just in total disbelief. I'm like, this is something that only happens in the movies. This is something that only happens in like Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Like the most fictional high school drama scenario ever happened to me. And I drive home, and I'm very distraught. Mom and Dad asked me how it went. I said, oh, good, yeah, good. They don't know that single incident will scar me for the rest of my life, which, to be truthfully honest, kind of has. That single story is kind of the reason I don't like dating. It's kind of the reason I'm scared to go on dates. It's kind of the reason why I hate myself. It's kind of the reason that I'm self-conscious. That kind of thing will do that to you. That kind of thing will that kind of thing is kind of known to dampen confidence a bit, don't you think? So, I lied to my parents, obviously. What good would it do to tell them actually what happened? I sit down, the victorious man that I am, and start playing some video games with some friends, and I'm telling them about it, and obviously I'm kind of crying at this point. And yeah, and then maybe it was the day after that, I get a text from Grace, and it says, hey, sorry, but I would like to just continue to stay friends. I hope, blah, 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 blah. I knew I was going to get that like from the start because no dates ever work out for me. So I just kind of assume dates are more for practice for the absolute off chance a girl approaches me first. But yeah, she says that, I said, I totally understand, I'm really sorry you had to be there for that. I hope you didn't feel that uncomfortable, and maybe, we could still hang out in the future. And she was like, oh yeah, like we're still gonna see each other here and there, like at school and whatnot. But obviously no more dates with her. That ship has sailed. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I really want you to try to think of a worse date. Like the only worst date that could top that would be like actually showing up and the girl you're going on a date on like has a gun pointed to a small Indian child. Like that's the only way to make that story worse. Have you heard something worse? I don't think you have. And I think it's funny. Like I hold this secret treasure. I hold the worst date story you've ever heard in my pocket because it actually happened to me. Far be it from me for trying to step back out in the scene again with someone that I actually kind of liked.